Hey guys, and welcome to my spoiler review video of Justice League. Now in this video I'm going to go talk in depth about what I liked about the film, my favourite scenes, favourite characters, and what I disliked about the movie. If you've not seen the movie yet, this video is going to be full of spoilers, so I suggest that you go see the movie first before you watch this video. But if you have seen it, then let's begin. One of my favourite scenes in the movie is actually right at the very start, and it's where Batman is on the roof and he's watching the burglar. I really like the scene where, I really like the image where the burglar, he opens the window and you see the Batman's reflection in it, and he's like on the edge of a rooftop just watching him, and it just looks straight out of a comic book. All the action in it, hiding behind the water tower. I could imagine like there's a scene where the burglar is shooting at the Batman, and he shoots the water tower, and a spray of water goes into his face, and it's like I could see that in like one of the Bruce Timm animated Batman, Batman the Animated Series, things like that. The way that he somersaults over the burglar and he captures him, and just the way that he uses the burglar to bring forth a parademon. It's just a really cool scene. You see a glimpse of a sign that says Janus or Janus on it, which could be a link to Black Mask, which got me excited. And yeah, it's just a really great scene. And there was an opening where it showed like a montage of things happening around the world, Lois Lane and Martha Kent, and it's the opening credits, and there's a song over it, and it kind of reminded me of the way Watchmen opened. It wasn't as stylish as the Watchmen opening, but I did enjoy it. And then there's a brilliant scene with Wonder Woman tackling some terrorists at the Old Bailey in London, and that's a great introduction for Wonder Woman. Really enjoyed that. And Ben Affleck's really good in this. Some people have said that it's a bored performance, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Gal Gadot was fantastic. There's some great scenes between the pair that I really enjoyed. There's one where he's like calling her out as to why she isn't as big an inspiration as Superman, and you're delving into why she claimed that she turned away from the human race for 100 years and everything. That's a great scene. She gets angry with Bruce and that. It's also a similar, I think it's the same scene where they're discussing bringing back Superman, which I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed Aquaman. There's a great scene where he's taking on Darkseid in, underwater. I think it's in Atlantis, and it involves Mera, played by Amber Heard. And I really liked how they got him talking underwater when she created like some sort of bubble, and they were talking inside that. Not sure whether they're going to do that in the Aquaman movie, but it would be interesting how they're going to incorporate it all the way through. It's good for that one scene, but I don't know how they're going to do that all the way through a 2.5 hour movie of like talking in bubbles and things like that. But for that scene, I really enjoyed it. I thought it looked really good. Mera looked fantastic. And I can't wait for the Aquaman film, what comes out next year. December, I think, 2018. The Flash was fantastic. There was little scenes that I liked. I liked the one where it was, there's a couple of scenes where he's visiting his dad in prison. I enjoyed those. His father, played by Billy Crudup, who was Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen. A really underrated actor. He's one that pops up in films and you don't realise you've seen him in, how many films you've seen him in, until you're like, look, it's him. But yeah, he's an underrated actor that I enjoy, and I hope to see more of him in the Flash movie as well. He's really funny, is Ezra Miller in this. He's like he's the one with all the comedic lines. Well, he's not got all of them, because, there's some characters who've got some, but some are drier than others, but he's like joke, 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 and majority of them land. I really like the scene where there's a guy, telling him to hurry up while he's signing in the prison, and then you just see his hand quickly move, and then it's drawn on the guy's face. That was really funny. I can't wait for a Flash film. I really hope they do. They announced Flashpoint. I really hope they follow through and make that movie, because it will be really good. Cyborg, I enjoyed that character. In the trailers I wasn't sure about him because some of the CGI on him looked unfinished. and it was like, it doesn't look that good, but in the movie I thought he looked pretty good. The actor Ray Fisher, he's not really a comedic one in this film. He's not a comedic character. He's a tragic character. You know, his backstory is, he was in an explosion and he nearly died, and he's had all these cyborg pieces which come from the mother box. And now he's a cyborg. You know, but he's a really good character. He's an interesting character, and I enjoyed the actor Ray Fisher. I thought he was really good. This is his first film role, I think. I think he's usually a stage actor, but this is his first film role, and I thought he did really well. And that's the 5 main Justice League members. But then there's obviously a 6th, and that's Superman. And I was intrigued. You know, obviously, you know, he dies at the end of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and I've always been intrigued. How are they going to bring him back? Is it going to be like some form of apocalypse? You know, is Darkseid going to get him? Is Steppenwolf going to bring him back? And I was kind of happy, to be honest. It took me by surprise. It was unexpected. It wasn't the way I thought they were going to go, but I was happy with how they brought him back. Basically, Bruce Wayne comes up with the idea that they're in possession of the human mother box, and with the, you know, embryotic chamber which Doomsday was created in, you know, if they placed Superman in that and then used the mother box, then they could theoretically bring Superman back to life. And obviously it's different to how he was brought back in the comics, but in the DC Extended Universe world that they've set up, it works, and I was happy with how they did it. And it was a really good scene on board that ship. It also involving the Flash and his lightning, and I was happy. And then the scene after that, when Superman is back and he's taking on the entire Justice League, is one of my favourite scenes in the entire movie. It just goes to show how powerful Superman is when he's, you know, in full control. This is a Superman unhinged, and he's in full control. You know, he's not holding back, basically, and he just totally wipes the floor with the Justice League. And there's a great scene where he picks Batman up, and he basically repeats the line that Batman said to him in Batman v Superman, you know, "Do you bleed?" And it's really good because, you know, he's saying, "You won't let me live, and you won't let me die," and Batman's like saying, "The world needs you," and then he goes, "But the world doesn't need you. Tell me, do you bleed?" And that's a really great scene. And then obviously Batman's contingency plan is to bring in Lois Lane to hopefully jog his memory back, which it does. But he throws Batman to the floor, and then Superman takes off with Lois Lane, and then a funny line of, "Yep, something's definitely bleeding." Even like the dry humour from Batman in the movie worked, which I really enjoyed. And Superman is a total badass in this. He's more of the hopeful character that in a similar vein to Christopher Reeve's Superman, which a lot of people liked. I like the Man of Steel version, the conflicted Superman, the Batman v Superman conflicted Superman version. But you know, there's a shift in tone with Superman in this, but I accept that because he's been reborn. So I'm happy with his personality in this. His suit is brighter, so that's nice. You know, I always thought especially in Man of Steel, but I think that was more the filter they used, that his suit looked a bit too dull. It should be bright, and I like the suit that he wears in this movie. And basically, you know, I can understand the posters now where it says "You can't save the world alone," but the twist is Superman can, because basically Steppenwolf all the way through the movie has been wiping the floor of the Justice League. Superman comes in and just pummels him. And there's some great scenes where Superman's saving civilians, the Flash is saving this one family in their pickup, and then Superman's carrying a tower block full of them, and it's just really good. You know, Superman is back in a great way. He's a total badass, and I just love the portrayal of him in this movie. In fact, I love the portrayal of all the characters. I love all their interactions. They all work really well. The humour between the characters is fantastic. It's just brilliant. The supporting characters are good. Alfred, Martha Kent, Lois Lane, they're all really good. My negatives for the movie were that it feels too short. Some scenes feel rushed, and you can tell that there's a lot of footage that's been cut out. You know, there's a lot of footage in the trailers that was being cut out, and from what I hear, the original cut should have been around 2 hours 45 minutes, but the Warner Brothers Ed Honchos said nope, it has to be 2 hours, so a lot of the film's been cut. I hope they do an extended cut. I really want to see that version. So that's a negative. There's some, like, a couple of scenes, a couple of shots where you can see some dodgy CGI on Superman's lip. There's the first one, the film opens where some kids are filming Superman on their mobile phone, and they're asking him about his S and his, you know, what it means and things like that. And I don't know, his face looks a bit weird in it, in my opinion. And then there's another scene, a couple of scenes during the fight where he's, you know, kind of, because they had to CGI his mustache out, and it's kind of weird looking, but they're only like quick shots, so I can live with that. And another negative, I've gone through it in my other review, my proper review, is that Steppenwolf could have been better. You know, he's full CGI, and sometimes he looks a bit video game cutscene-ish. He's not the best DC villain, but I can accept him for this movie so that it can focus more on the Justice League characters, bringing them together and their interaction. You know, his main aim is he's got a simple plan, take over the world. He wants to gather these 3 mother boxes and take over the world, and the Justice League needs to stop him. So basically, that's all he's there for. There's a great flashback scene from like 5,000 years ago which shows Atlanteans, Amazonians and man fighting Steppenwolf when he was previously on Earth, and then you see a few cameos from people. There's a Green Lantern, which got me really excited when I saw it, because, you know, it's like the Green Lantern doesn't exist in this world, in the DCE. There's a guy with lightning, and I wasn't sure who he was. I wasn't sure if he was supposed to be Zeus or Shazam, or, you know, a character like that, but be interesting to find out who he was. And there's a few more which, you know, when I get the Blu-ray and I can actually pause it and things and look at who's around, you know, I can't wait for that. The score, I enjoyed the score. There was glimpses of Batman 89 score, because it was done by Danny Elfman. There's glimpses of John Williams Superman theme. There's glimpses of Man of Steel in it, and I thought it worked for the movie. J.K. Simmons is in it briefly. He's in like 3 scenes, but I enjoyed the scenes that he's in, and I thought his Commissioner Gordon was pretty good, and I can't wait to see him in future Batman films. Looking forward, and pretty much like all the characters in the movie. And then there's like 2 credit scenes. There's a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene. The mid-credit scene is a fun one, involving the Flash and Superman, where they're going to have a race, see who's fastest, and that's fun. That's called back to, they've done that a few times in the comics, Superman the Animated Series and Smallville, where they've raced each other, so that was a nice, fun scene. And then the end scene involves, you know, Lex Luthor. It shows a guard calling him out of his cell at Arkham Asylum, and it's a body double, and he's obviously escaped. And then it shows this shadowy figure on a speedboat arriving at a yacht, and it's Deathstroke, and it's like, wow, Lex Luthor was pretty good in this. Is it, you know, Jesse Eisenberg's back. It's a brief scene. Joe Manganiello, or whatever you call him, is Deathstroke. He looks absolutely fantastic, and yeah, it's just, I can't wait for future, you know, Justice League films. This is like, they want to create their own like Injustice gang, Injustice Society, Legion of Doom, whatever you call it, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's my review of this movie. Let me know down below, guys, in my comment section. You can go in depth, because this is a spoiler video, what you think of this movie. What were your favourite scenes? What were your least favourite scenes? You know, negatives, positives. What do you hope for in future Justice League, and well, future DC films? You know, what do you hope from the films? What do you hope to see? Obviously, we've got Aquaman next, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, let me know, guys, in my comment section. Like and share my channel, guys, and remember, stay heroic.